and Perry. No gables and eaves, 4,000 square feet just to fill up with things I don't need. And I know to some it makes no sense, but I'm not living just to pay my debts. I've got nothing against that white picket fence or those big American trees. On we go down the endless road. How can we know what tomorrow holds? I know this life gets so heavy, so I'll carry it with you. And I know you'll carry me too. And we'll be home wherever we roam.
Well, good morning from the ridge.
Good morning. Hopefully you got your pontoons on.
Yeah. Oh, the rain. I think that we're getting more rain now than we did during the whole,
100-year, 1,000-year flood, whatever,
Yeah.
the last batch.
yeah, way more. And it's just moving extremely slow. So we have just kind of had a real slow morning because at any given time during the night, the storms were waking us up.
Yeah.
Losing power, lightning, thunder, just bombarded. And so it's kind of a lazy day. Like, what are we going to do,
Go outside and get soaked in the mud puddles and
No.
catch the pneumonias.
No. But we thought we'd get on and do a coffee chat. Of course, made just a quick, easy breakfast this morning. Y'all saw that. Still digesting it, but yum.
Yeah.
Funny story is I didn't have time to make bagels before we went to the Mid-America, but I fully anticipated serving a bunch of people for breakfast. And so I actually bought bagels. I'm not a fan.
After eating your homemade ones, no.
No. Like, just...
I mean,
don't
they
know.
get the job done.
Yeah.
But then we never made breakfast sandwiches, so now we got 2 sleeves of bagels that we have to eat up here at home.
Yeah. So breakfast sandwich it was. Of course, it's too much bread for me, so I usually only do half a bagel. But
Yeah.
no, just trying to get back into the swing of things after Mid-America. Well, truly after any kind of travel. I'm definitely feeling it from, like, not resting hardly at all over at Lake Eufaula. I barely sat down, and so I hit a brick wall. Totally hit a brick wall. But
well, and then you add the emotion of the storms that came in, not only the worry for our condition in the moment of being there, which, luckily it wasn't as bad for us there at the campground, and we did make the right call in staying an extra day, because even by leaving Tuesday morning when we did, they were still cleaning trees off the side of the road that had
We're down
fallen
to, like,
across
one
the
lane.
road,
Yeah.
on a lot of the path coming home. So even if we would have wanted to leave and brave the weather with the camper, we wouldn't have gotten very far because trees were blocking the road. So and then the worry and concern of, hey, them same storms that hit us in Oklahoma were coming here to hit us home at the ridge, and what was that going to look like, and what kind of disaster do we pull in? And so yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's
not
the
only-
toss-up, right? I think
Like,
we've had the discussions of mental exhaustion can clearly be more tiring than physical exhaustion.
And that's how it... Well, for me, it was both.
Yeah.
I was perfectly fine. We were having great conversation, leaving the campground, just kind of ruminating about, the whole weekend and how wonderful it was, and talking about hopes and dreams. And we no more than get to Fayetteville, and the truck transmission starts overheating.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a buzzkill when there is no buzz, but joy. It completely, because I'm like, no, not again. Y'all, we have sunk so many thousands and I'm talking, what, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 into the truck since we got it, if not more. Just the sense of defeat, and of course anxiety of, will we make it home? Will we not make it home? Just, I don't even know. I don't even know. And now we're faced with having to make repairs on the transmission that we don't have the equipment to do. So what does that mean?
It's gotta go to a shop.
And like, I could almost cry thinking about having to spend more money. You know, and we've had a lot of comments of people, mainly men, commenting in there, Tara, you gotta let Jason get the barn. You gotta let him get the shop. Come on, Tara, let him. And guys, it ain't me. It's not me. And
no.
It does put an undue burden on me, because then I start feeling guilty that he doesn't have a shop. But then I have to remind him that we have sunk almost 10 grand into a truck that he wanted.
Well, we needed it. I mean,
we needed it, yes.
You know, we're going to look at it. One, the shop isn't just for me, yo. It isn't. Our idea, plan, and layout for the shop is the idea of we can both be in the shop. We want to both be in the shop,
yeah,
and work at the same time, because we both have been adamant about, we don't want to, especially in our older years, grow into that couple that, hey, the wife is in one spot, you only see each other at meal times and dinner time. Like, we enjoy spending all of our time together, and that's how we build things. And even in this situation with the having the transmission issues, yes, if there was a shop with a concrete floor, I could, use a creeper and get around a little better. But I'm still not doing this repair job that needs to be done, because it's either a flush of the transmission system, which I'm not buying the equipment to do that for the few times in my lifetime that it may need to happen, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a justifiable purchase. So I'm still going to have to pay somebody else. And then if it is a transmission rebuild, I'm not doing that either. 20 years ago, probably I would have had the ambition to go ahead and tear into. I've torn into automatic transmissions. And for guys that do it regular, it isn't a big deal. I haven't done it enough that I won't tear into one anymore. I'm at the point now where, and this is what we discuss a lot, because I do have a lot of mechanical abilities, right? And I'm grateful for those ones that I do have. But I also am getting wise enough, if that's possible, of knowing what my limitations are. Because it'd be nothing worse than getting it torn apart, realizing I'm way over my head, and now not only do I have a repair bill, but I have a tow or recovery bill, because now I need to get the whole vehicle to someone else that's, a trained professional that does this more frequent.
Like, it really truly does just make me want to cry. And the sense of defeat that I have felt over the last couple days, I have really struggled with everything. Like, could we sell the truck and buy just like an F-150? No, because we have a Squatch. When do you throw in the towel? Because, okay, well, we sink a few more thousand into it for the transmission, and basically we should have, like, what next? Like, I can't even tell you how defeating it is. And to know that I'm gonna get hate in the comments again because Jason doesn't have a shop, because the money goes to the truck. We opted when we started the homestead was infrastructure and equipment, because even when the money would eventually be gone, we would have the tools that we needed to still continue. You know, and then I have to remind ourselves and subscribers and Jason that, you know, we have over $31,000 wrapped up in the tractor. Boop, boop, boop. Right? Like, gone. 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 So, like, that was more than double of what I had budgeted for a tractor. And then we had money set aside for the barn. Well, if y'all remember, the well went out. $7,000 later, we have water. We've put equally $7,000 and $9,000, and I'm leaving that gracious because I know it's been a lot, into the truck. Like, poof. It's not my fault, y'all, that he doesn't have a barn. We'll get there. We're actively working, and we've set ourselves on a budget where we were buckling down and no extra expenditures other than what we'd already planned for. So, like, we'd planned for the meetup. We had planned for those small things. Those were already in the budget. So locking it down to where we don't spend any extra so that we can work towards getting him the barn. And rebuilding our coffers in order to do that. And then now knowing we're going to have to sink several more $1,000s into the truck. Like, yeah.
But like I said, even if we had the money and the shop was up, the repairs that need to happen to the truck right now with the transmission is not something that I could do in the shop anyways. So...
I was saving for the freeze dryer.
Yeah.
Gone.
And that is the challenge that we look at, and I think that, you know, rainy days and financial hits left and right that are coming in just really start to drag on your mental state, and your emotional, right? That's what really drives your mentality 95% of the time is your emotions. Like, how do you feel about something? And then when you keep getting beat down, it just...
I had a meltdown.
Yeah.
Like, and before y'all be like, oh, you're a Debbie Downer and your husband has to save the video. Whatever. I'm here to talk. So I'm a little snarky about all of it because it wasn't just the truck. We're looking at multiple trips up north we hadn't planned for. Working out the schedule. Working out how I'm going to get the garden. Like, everything just kind of compounded once we got home from Mid-America. And I literally was ready just to throw in the towel to all of it. Because, like, our hopes and our dreams of doing the loop, our hopes and dreams of travel, how can we even think about those dreams when we can't even get ahead because we keep having breakdowns and there are obligations that we have to go up north, boom, 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 3 times in a row. Like, why did we move away? Like, I've had a real rough time with just, why did we move away? What are we doing? I should go back to work. Like, we had that long conversation too. I'm ready to sign on the dotted line and just go back to work and forget all of it. And I'm just, yeah, thank God I have a patient husband because I'm gonna be fine, and I'll pull up my bootstraps and I'll get it done and it'll all work out. But in that moment of physical and mental exhaustion, and then just getting slammed it. I had it. It was enough.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't really have like a scheduled video out, for today. I'm going to put something out, but it's older and it's instructional and Jason replacing the starter on the tractor. But that'll be coming out later today. I don't know. I'm really trauma dumping, aren't I?
Well, and that's... If we've learned anything, right, through our experiences in life, not only together, but even prior to us getting together, was, you've got to be able to have that safe space of just letting it all out. Whether that means a good cry, whether that means a good yell at, whether it means, a day at the range, whatever your venting process is, you've got to, because it starts to culminate so big that it really, coming back and then thinking about, okay, And I think the big thing with our timeline, as we started looking at it, trying to plot and plan, was everything on the homestead being so rushed because we have such short windows in between being home and, we get comments, obviously, that, well, how are you supposed to build your homestead if you're not at home? Well,
no, and y'all are absolutely correct. 100%.
But there's things that, stuff that we have planned that's coming up that we didn't have control over. Family members that get sick, hey, you need to go visit them or spend time with them, or, dealing with those situations, right? It's just called life, y'all. And you've got to account for that. We talk about the truck breakdown, and that's not something that we ever planned. Just last year, a little over a year ago, we dumped the money into having that flywheel because it broke down on us on the west side, and we thought, okay, we're good to go. And then over the summer, we get to Tennessee, and hey, guess what? Front end. But it's a truck that has over 300,000 miles on it, albeit in good shape, and it will last, right? But it's not going to last without some maintenance and repairs. It's just, but it hurts. It hurts in the moment, and you get overwhelmed. But I think that the key to it all, right, is get it out there, vent, do whatever you need to do to get it out of the system, and then take that breath, sleep on it a little bit, and then come back with a plan of, okay, what is our plan of attack now? How do we address these situations? And
normally that works for us. Normally, just like you said, we talk about those things, and Jason and I communicate a lot. We have very effective communication. It's one of our powerhouses, right? And normally, yes, that does work. For some reason, it's not this time. Like, it's not, and I don't know what to do with that, and that's probably one of the hardest things, because it's been a long time since I felt this kind of defeat. To where I just want to throw in the towel. All of it. YouTube, the garden, the ridge, like all of it. And of course we're not, and I know those are rash decisions, but that's where my mental state is at the moment, where normally, yes, like you said, we talk about it, we vent it out, we cry about it, whatever it is, we get a good night's sleep, we wake up refreshed and we're great the next morning. It ain't working.
Well, this weather definitely, and I didn't know how much, and I know we've talked about this a little bit before, and it was one of the major reasons of us not staying in Michigan was the weather, especially the winter time, or more so the winter time. And right now, like I said, it's hard for both of us mentally because of the rain. And the thing is, we have 3 or 4 more days of this.
Yeah.
And so when you can't get out and make progress because the things that we need to get done are outdoor activities that can't be done in the rain because I can't go sawmill, or we can't go sawmill because then the lumber's wet.
And it'd be a mud pit.
Yeah, and
yes, the weather does have a lot to play with it. I mean, we did move away from Michigan for that reason, was the gray. But what good are we doing when we're always going back? And that's the thing I struggle with. And I know that we go back because we love our family. But then why shouldn't we just sell it all, and then we can just spend summers up there and then grab the camper and go south, whether it be Texas or Florida or Arkansas or, I don't know, just all the things, because I'm tired of the money hemorrhaging. And when there's no money left to hemorrhage, I think it brings back a lot of emotions from when I was a single mom and I was working 3 and 4 jobs, and I was still trying so hard to not just maintain but save, right? And I think there's a lot of that residual anxiety that things like in times like this it reminds me of. Like, okay, when I had something pop up when I was a single mom and trying to maintain the Ohio homestead, what did I do? I'm an agency nurse too, on top of driving, on top of the butcher shop, on top, whatever it may be, fill in the blank, XYZ. Pick up more hours, work more overtime, pick up another job. Like, and that's where my brain goes to. Like, could I solve all of our problems if I just went back to work?
No. I'll answer that right now and instantly. But I get it. We've talked about that. And that was, I think that's the mental and the life change that we made from living that lifestyle before to how we live now, coming down here, building the homestead, and the whole idea and premise of living off what we're building, what we're raising, what we're growing, doing all those types of things. And maybe that's where the challenge is now, right? Because society in general teaches you that life is all about just making more money. How much more money can you make, right? And the answer to everybody's solution in your typical societal environment is, as you said, and we've talked about this, is, well, if I can't solve this problem in my brain, I'm just going to throw more money at it. And that works when you're living that lifestyle. When you're living in our lifestyle, it doesn't work. Because the solution is not, we look at things as not how much money we can make. Like, what, can I go get another job? Can we do this? Can we do that? Absolutely, right? That's not the point. The point is, how much money can we save by not going to the grocery store? The fact that all of our vegetables and our proteins and that kind of thing come from the homestead. And so when you're looking at, if you don't have the option, and that's where we've tried to put ourselves in our life and our situation right now, is it's not so much how can I make some more money. It's we have this money, we have an X amount of money coming in every month. So how do we not spend all of that? And it's looking at those, and the hardest part, honestly, is we know we have to spend more than what we're going to bring in right now because we need to get more things either built, organized, prepped, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then to throw a major expense like a significant truck repair in, just, it makes it that bigger of a challenge. And it's just, it's how you come at it, and I think it's how you approach the solution. And, for some people it is, I guess, kind of confusing because maybe we haven't described it in that manner, is it takes money to live, y'all. It really does. We get that. But in our case, it's not a matter of where can we go to make a whole bunch more money. It's how can we save what we have to be able to use it towards something that's going to make our life better in the end.
Right. But, that is our premise, and that is what we live off of, and that is what we strive to do. The fact of the matter is, when you're hemorrhaging money, it's no longer about how much can I save. I save everywhere that I possibly can. But saving money doesn't pay for the fuel for going up north or going to Tennessee or going, it's, I don't know. I'm not trying to, this is the reality of our lives, guys, and we're sharing it with you. It's not always sunshine and roses, right? There's always challenges. We would be lying to all of our subscribers and our children and grandchildren if we didn't share the realities of living this kind of lifestyle. You can't romanticize everything about homesteading the way a lot of channels do, or the way Pinterest does, or Instagram, or whatever. you can't romanticize this kind of lifestyle and not talk about the hard things, because the hard things are what typically will break those that try to enter into homesteading or the debt-free lifestyle or living off what you grow and, being financially responsible. Pinterest doesn't show you those things. They don't tell you about the hardships. They don't tell you about the things that almost break you, right? They just make it look pretty, and they put out sourdough loaves and oh, our lifestyle is so beautiful. We choose not to do that because, one, this is our outlet. This is our talkie channel. This is where we talk about those things that we struggle with. It's not to depress anyone. It's not to garner pity from anyone. It's just keeping it real. Don't mean to steal that from David, but you know what I mean? Like, these are the problems that we're facing in this moment right now. And I don't have a poker face. We've already discussed this. He's much better at it than I am. I can't be on camera when I'm ready to shed tears and try to pull it off, right? That's being fake, and that's not who I am. I can't film right now, guys, so sorry. I won't be putting out any kind of videos on the main channel until I feel like it.
Yeah.
Until I can feel that, okay, I can take joy back in doing this. I don't know if I'm getting ready to have another flare up. I've been feeling that coming on. So typically I'll get really, really emotional before a flare. And get completely achy. With the psoriatic arthritis, you think, oh, people think just bones, right? No, it's an immune disorder. So it affects every part of your body. And typically before a flare, I do get really, really teary-eyed. Kind of like if I had a uterus and I had PMS. I don't know. I'm just rattling on. But yeah.
So, with that being said, things might slow down a little bit on the main channel, just for those reasons. It's not that necessarily anything drastic's going on. I mean, part of it is we've said from the get-go that we're not going to create a project just so that we have something to go on YouTube. The whole point of the channel when we started it, and going back to the premise of it, was we are doing these projects and we just happen to have cameras rolling while that's happening. And so the videos and what gets filmed is in real time. As much as we've tried to say, hey, we're gonna film a whole bunch of stuff and we're gonna have a backlog, it works for maybe a week. We might get two videos ahead.
The best I've ever been able to achieve that is when we went on the cruise.
Right. And that was pretty difficult because we were working on stuff up to the day we left.
And I won't do that again. Like that.
Yeah.
I was so exhausted.
And so, if things go up and down, within the channel, it's just because we don't have anything in the bank right now to say, right? We don't have extra stuff other than what you're going to work on today that these wonderful, amazing people will be able to see. It is what it is. We're basically just maintaining right now. Hey, watching luckily with the rain, we don't have to water the garden. But we still have animals to feed. We still have, a home to maintain, friendships to garner and
obligations
flourish.
that we've already pre-committed to. So, we have to look at the things we can control and the things that we can't.
Yeah.
And, the other thing that's kind of weighed on us too, and I know this is going longer than normal, and it's almost like, yes, it's another downer, but it also kind of jolted me back into reality, right? Was a mass exodus, so per se, of some really, really large YouTube channels, right? They're done. They're pulling the plug. Living Traditions. We absolutely love them. We've watched them from day one. They're done. There's 3 or 4 huge channels that Jason watched and that we watched together. They're done. Why? Because they want to not worry about the cameras. They want to not do those things. And we're not at their levels, guys. We're not saying that we are, but what it did for my brain is kind of shift it back to I'm not going to worry about getting the video out. If we grow, we grow. If the videos tank, they tank. I can't live my life for YouTube. Or someday we're going to be at that point where we just say, we're done. We're done. You know, we want to enjoy our kids. We want to enjoy our grandkids. We want to enjoy the travel.
And we say that in the fact that, you know, a lot of you probably watch some of the same channels, obviously, that we do and support them.
Mm-hmm. And I don't blame Living Traditions. Good for them.
Right.
Awesome.
And kudos to them to finally be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to do everything just to suffice YouTube. Because it's not you subscribers that are having the issues. It's within the AI and everything that YouTube runs, you know, to whether they want to promote your channel. And so I know what we've seen with a lot of even the bigger channels and even some of our friends that have kind of slowed down a bit was the love and the support. And so, you know, before anybody wants to throw hate or anything like that, which I don't expect any of y'all to do that, but if you see it, you know, remind that person that might be throwing some hate or slight that, you know what, you're not in their shoes. You don't know what's going on with them right now. And there's only so much of, you know, putting on a fake smile and moving on with what you need to do, right? Life is about reality and living in that moment. And if you can't enjoy that moment that you're living in, then why are you doing it? So,
I mean, he does a good job taking care of crappy comments. But
we don't really get that many. It's not.
No, we don't get like a boatload. But who was it? The one subscriber, he's like, you know, if anyone's going to talk bad about your beautiful wife, pin the message and let us take care of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember who said that, but I appreciate that. And we know that y'all that are on the coffee chats, it wouldn't matter what we're doing, whether we're RV lifing, whether we're boat lifing, whether we're homesteading. Those that are here for the coffee chats, we recognize and we love you for it, that you're here for us. And we appreciate you. And, you know, not every day is a good day, right? But I'm still going to keep going. And I'm going to work through this. Now, whether or not I do get hit with a full flare, I may be in bed for 2 days. I don't know. I'm hoping not. I'm trying to support myself physically so that doesn't happen. You know, and I'm thinking that that's where a lot of the mental cloud comes from, as well as just all the above. But I'll get through it, and I'll be back to fine. I just got to keep going through the motions, and I'm grateful for my amazing husband, for sure.
We're a team, so that's what it's all about, guys. That perfect partnership, that teamwork of when one's down, the other's got to pick it up, and vice versa. And it's like a ping pong game with us some days. Is, you know, back and forth. I mean, within a matter of hours, it could be, you know, it's already switched back 5 times. Who's the boardy goose? So.
Well, not really. You're mentally stronger than I am.
Well.
Like, the only time I really have to, you know, of course I do my best to pamper him, but only if he's hurt or sick. He doesn't really have.
I ain't got time for all that other shenanigans. And I think just the different, you know, everybody's different, right? You handle things differently. We've talked about this, you know, especially, I talk a lot more about it with the vets. You know, my brothers and sisters in arms, of how 2 people can look at the same thing, but they have a totally different reaction to the same thing. And they're like, well, why is one different than the other? And that's just, I think it's the human brain, the human anatomy, and...
I'm just a weak-minded person.
No, I don't think that it's a weak-minded thing at all, honestly. It's a matter of what your support system looks like, what you have now, but more importantly, right, what you had before, and then what changes. You know, everybody was brought up differently, right? Every single person. Nobody was brought up the exact same way as the next. There was always something different, right? And it's those tools that you were taught, whether purposely or unpurposely.
By accident, because I'm like, Gen X and raised myself.
Well, right. And so there's a lot of those things that how you handle those situations really defines your character of who you are. And
Oh, now we're getting deep.
oh well,
I don't think that that's as easily cut and dry there, because I feel like I'm a good person and I have a great character. So my inability to brush off things that bring me down doesn't really define my character. Or is it a weakness that is defining my character?
no, I think that the resolve at the end. So in this, how do you say it? Your character's judged by like what your end result of that reaction was, right? So if you go back and you look at a lot of the trauma and everything that had happened, you know, in your previous life, everything that's happened
A lot.
So right, anybody that like anybody with a lesser mentality would have already thrown the towel in and said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. And they, you know, not against any of the mental health issues, but this is a thing that I think people as a society need to look at those, you know, because I mean, obviously I'm always thinking of the 22 a day deal where, and so when I say, hey, that's what judges your character, it's in the moment, yes, you're going to have weaknesses, you're going to have all those types of things. But then when you look back, say a month from now, and you're not in a mental state that you're in today, and you look back, that's where your character comes in as to where, hey, I got through that. Yes, you know, look at all the bad things that's ever happened. In the moment, you're like, man, this sucks. But then you look at it down the road, no matter what that amount of time is, you'll go back and be like, that really wasn't that bad. Or it's one of those, wow, look at me, I got through that. I can get through everything else.
And I do try to look at it like that.
Yeah.
But in that moment, we don't handle things separately. And we also have to look at the differences in our lives prior to when you and I got together.
Well, right.
I've never had a supportive partner. Ever. Ever. And so it didn't matter. I never had the freedom to depend on a man for anything. Emotionally, mentally, physically. Like it didn't matter. Even when I was married, I built the homestead. I had to do everything. But I'm going to fall apart. One, I'm female. Let me fall apart. Like, let me just hit that brick wall of emotion.
Yeah.
Let me fall apart. Let me whine about it. Let me cry about it. Let me throw things. I don't throw things. I did throw a mouse once. But I did throw a mouse, but that was
a computer mouse.
That was a computer thing. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I gotta go there, so that I can get down to those depths of emotions where I can pull up my bootstraps and suck it up. And I still have a very, very difficult time when I'm in those moments of realizing I don't have to do it alone. I'm not alone, because I've always had to save myself. I've never had anyone save me. If anything, they added more stress and brain power to be able to have someone who actually supports me emotionally through that. But I think that communication-wise, like there's a lot of times I literally say, I'm mad. I am mad. I'm not mad at you. And I don't know why I'm mad, but I'm pissed. I'm mad and I'm angry. And just let me have my anger for a few minutes. It's not at you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm not mad at you. So just let me be angry. And that, I think, is a little sense of maturity on my part from where I used to be, because I never had that outlet. I never had anyone supporting me. But it's important for me to let him know I'm just mad. I don't know about what. I can't identify it. I can't articulate it. But I'm not going to take it out on you. I try not to. Obviously, residually, if I'm not happy, he may not get food. But not on his fault. It's just because I can't pull it out. But I don't know. Geez, where the crap did we come from here? But it's a deep one, I guess, today. So we're going to wrap this up because we got stuff to do here in the house before the next round of storms come. But
Yeah, it sounds like it's letting up enough that we might be able to,
go out and do chores. So we're sorry that this ran over. But this
No, we're not. We're not.
It's the reality, guys. This is our life, and we're sharing it, and we want our grandkids to know the difficulties, the challenges, how we deal with challenges, the positivity that we know it's going to turn around. We know we'll be fine. We just have to get through these moments and problem solve while we're through it. And we're going to stick the channels back to being our legacy. They're not going to drive what we're going to do. We are going to do our lives. And whoever wants to watch can watch. Because this is reality. It's not romanticism.
And it might be a wild ride. We don't even know. I mean, as much as we try to plan things, more random shenanigans happens before most of the planning happens. But for me, that's how life is, right? It's the amount of mass amounts of chaos, and how do you weather that chaos storm? Do you just freak out, curl into a ball, or do you, do you make some adjustments to where you can ride the waves instead of beating against them? I
always rebound.
Right.
We just rebound in a different way. He's able to process and rebound pretty much immediately. Me, I've got so many things to process because I look at things 10 different ways, right? So it takes me a little longer, but I always do.
Yeah.
I always come out at the end mostly better than when I went in, but we'll figure it out. So thank you guys for being here. Wow, a 40-minute coffee chat. That's like 2 coffee chats. Should we do it part 1, part 2?
No.
I don't know. No,
all right. We appreciate you. If you've stuck around for this long, you guys are amazing. You're rock stars.
Yeah.
Your support is more appreciated than we can express to you.
And a lot of times it's you guys that carry us through these moments, me through these moments, because more times than not, I'm ready to throw in the towel on YouTube. And he's like, no, there's so many people that count on us, that we've made friends with, that we're making a difference to somebody. And that is true. So anyway, we love you guys.
We'll see you guys.
Peace out.